BLASTMUSIC247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Hey, beautiful people, what's going on? So a bit of a deviation from the norm. I am here recording today with Courtney West, the Courtney West, RN and DOULA, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation in just a bit. But we're going to start our show in the same manner that we always do, with that young gratitude. Thank you so much to BLAST Music247 for making this a wonderful podcast home. It's an honor to be a part of the family. And if you are looking for a podcast home, then you definitely want to tap in with BLASTMUSIC247.com and come on home. So what I'm going to do to make that very easy for you, I have a mystical, magical, bam. There you go. So go ahead and tap that, touch that, screenshot that, whatever you need to do, or just simply click it in to your browser. Go and become a fan, register, and enjoy all the music. Or if you are an artist and you'd like to be highlighted in one of these lovely podcasts that we do during the week, let's go. Head on over to blastmusic247.com and make that happen for you. Okay, so we are using the recording feature today, and I'm going to be paying a little bit closer attention because I see some things already. But God, thank you to Sunshine Cromwell of Shine Vibrations. She is on BLAST Family Channel as well. Her show shows 7 p.m. on Fridays, 7 p.m. And she is the reason that I was welcome to the family. She was talking about me behind my back in a beautiful way. So love you, Sunshine. And we're going to get into this conversation. I've given you plenty of time to tap that QR code. How about that? All right. So we're going to put that away. And then I've been instructed to be kind of obedient. Y'all know I'll be on rebel vibes a little bit. So today we're going to work with compliance. Oh, I heard it and I don't. Either way, we're going to get to, here we go. Much better. We're going to get to our guest. I'm ready. You ready? Let's get it. Coming to the stage, Miss Courtney Nicole West. And I'm going to have her give you all of the lovely information on how to find her, reach her, and access her services. Hey, Courtney.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning. It's so
I'll climb through the screen and give you a hug.
I know. I am super excited. It's always great to be with other BLAST family members and amazing people. So I'm super excited.
Aren't we great around here?
I be telling people all the time, it's like, what do you work on? I do my podcast through BLAST. Why? Because we are a community of just powerhouses. That's yes. Like the men, women, everyone who works there is like they're a powerhouse, and we all hold our own. So it's exciting to be able to be and support. And so yeah, I'm so excited to be here with you.
That's what's up. So I let it kick off the conversation. You know how we do. We straight reverse over here. We just chit in the chat. So what I would love for you to do is introduce yourself. Like you just shaking hands for the first time.
Okay.
Let the folks know who you are. Now, I know why I love you, and I'll tell them that in a moment, but you first.
All right. I'm super happy to do that. Hello, my name is Courtney Nicole West. I am the daughter of Toby West, the granddaughter of Edna Blake. I am a full spectrum doula. I am a childbirth educator. I am a placenta encapsulationist. I am a doula educator. I am an activist, and I am the owner and founder of 3 Gems Birth Services, where I believe that everyone deserves care. I have been doing this work happily for the last 8 years as a certified doula, but I've been working in birth work and working with mothers and babies all my life. I was born into this work. And so I am very grateful to be here and to express to people what a doula is, what is birth working, and what does that mean to get assistance in birth work and during your birthing process for Black women. So that's it in a nutshell.
That's what's up. So I love the wide range of what you do, and it tells a lot about you right off the gate. You are studious. You are a lifelong learner. You definitely have a huge heart, and you care for the people. And the fact that you're brave enough to be hanging out down there tells me you are brave, Captain. You are brave.
I love it. I tell people that all the time. It's like, yo, man, like you got you have like lactation consultants, which I do dabble in that too. But I say y'all like titties up. I like waist down. Let's get it in. Let's get it out. And let's
jokes. But I'm gonna keep them for Friday. So.
Listen, I'm here for all the things, so it is all good. I keep it a buck. I said I have seen more vaginas than most doctors have. Being a nurse and being a birth worker, I've seen them all. I've seen the difference. It don't faze me. I'm like, oh yeah. Just send me a picture. Ain't no thing. Let me see what you got going on. Okay, cool. No problems. We can.
I'm done.
It comes with this territory now. It's just be like, hey, I got something going on. Can I send you this? I'm like, I just pre-warn people. Don't go through my phone. Don't go through my phone because you'll never know what a patient is sending me, a client is sending me something. So you'll open it up and be like, oh, whoa. I'm like, it's just a rash. Don't be worried about it. It's okay.
That is hilarious and frightening at the same time. So I thought it was important to me to have you on because we had this mystical, magical, wonderful conversation in our first meeting.
Yeah.
Just a bit ago. And I was so moved by the heart that you had for the women and the POC women, okay, to begin with, and our experiences when we have been brave enough to go to the doctor, because Black folk don't like to go to no doctor. We're better now. But some of us still be on that bus because of how we were treated. So I'd love for you to just kind of walk us through, why did you get involved in this work? Why was it important for you to come do?
I'll be happy to go through all of that for you. What started me in this work was I was born into this work. I was born of a family and a generation that everyone were, healers and nurses and caregivers. My great grandmother Matilda actually was the first Black woman in Gainesville to open up her own nursing home. And then my grandmother opened up her first group home, and she wanted to become a midwife. And they told her no. And so if you knew anything about Edna Blake, one thing you don't never tell her is no, and she can't do something. So it was impeded in me from the great groundwork of what you can do. When I was born of a midwife. My great aunt was my mother's doula, and my grandmother was her partner to help her get through it. So this is all I knew. I thought everybody moved in this way. My grandmother was a nurse who had mentored so many people. So when people got sick or had something going on with their babies, they came to my grandma's house. So I thought everyone had access to having teachers and things like that, because a lot of, as we know, as history, as that Black people have fear of the doctor, but they will go to your community nurses and healers to do these things because historically that's who took care of us. It's only until very recently Black people were even allowed to be at the doctor's office. And so whoever took care of them, especially in the history of the South, was the midwife. It wasn't just about babies. It was about taking care of the community as a whole. So I myself followed in the line of the different nurses in my family and became a nurse. Before that, I had my first daughter. I had my first child at 19. And I was very blessed. I was a student at FAMU. So I was surrounded by Black excellence. So from Healthy Start to family members, the community up there were all Liberians and Nigerians. Okay. So for them, it's very different. There is someone coming to your house on a regular. There is someone saying, these are things that we're eating and we're not eating. And so the support was always there. My best friend came to live with me for 3 months after I gave birth to do my laundry, to cook for me. I was allowed to eat certain things. I wasn't allowed to eat certain other things. So I thought as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid that this is what all Black people had when they were birthing.
Wow.
So
Absolutely.
I thought this was normal. Even my friends, I had dear friends in high school that had babies. And guess what? I was at their house. I took care of them. I was cooking for them. But whatever my grandmother was sending that I wasn't making over there, that was just what was done. So that was my experience until fast forward 7 years later. I was a nurse. I was married. I gave birth to my child down in St. Pete at what was known at the time as, well, it's still Baby Place. And it was the first time dealing with an OB, dealing with that type of interaction for birth. And it was traumatic. I ended up with high blood pressure. I went from having preeclampsia, which is high blood pressure, close to having seizures, to having eclampsia. I had a seizure giving birth to my second child.
Whoa, the hell on. Whoa.
Yeah.
Let's rewind.
Yeah.
You said that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
You said there was trauma. It was a traumatic experience. Let's go back. The experience with dealing with the obstetrician, like, was it a male or female?
Female.
Okay.
Female group, women's care, which is all over the place, and they don't look like us.
What kind of skin was she in?
They don't look like us.
There was another situation.
It was an other situation. It was very interesting. So, and a lot of people aren't aware when you're going in for care in these types of clinics, you're seeing multiple people.
Yes.
You don't get to see one midwife or one OB. You're seeing the whole triage of them. And in the beginning, I was seeing this one particular doctor who I cannot stand, and she was just so racist and nasty to the point that I had to learn how to advocate for myself. There was one Hispanic OB, and I would say, okay, pull out her calendar. What days is she there? That's when you'll do my appointments. And banned my other person because they're like, well, you're hypertensive. I said, no, I'm stressed and I'm in pain. And every time I'm talking to you, you're not listening to me. So
say it.
It was stronger in an issue because I was a nurse. And so I did become very sick, but I was working 512s. Nursing. Yes. And still, doing these things, I was like, hey, I can't handle all this. I was put on bed rest, everything. But it took my Hispanic OB to be like, no, you need to be on bed rest. Because I kept saying, I don't feel well. There's something wrong. My eyes are blurry. My vision is blurry. My blood pressure is too high. My hands are swollen. My feet are swollen. And the white OB told me, well, that's just what you people do. And I was like, first of all, and with me having a medical background and my mouth being slick as shit, I had to let her know, no, bitch, this is not normal.
Okay, we cussing on the show today. Go ahead.
Sorry. I mean,
I ain't mad. Like, it's what it is. I mean, just letting people know. This that show. Go ahead.
It's gonna come out right there. And I had to really get with her in a way that I said, you're not listening to me, so I'm gonna break it down. I said it to you in the medical way. I've told you as the patient way. You're not listening. So now I'm gonna give you the Southside St. Pete way. So the Southside St. Pete way was like, listen, bitch, this is not what's gonna happen. You piss me off every time I'm in here with you. My blood pressure actually drops 40 points every time I see your face. So how about you don't see me? I do have high blood pressure, but why don't you not come in this room? Give me an hour. Let me take my blood pressures again. They are going to still be high, but they're going to be in a safer number than dealing with you. So I banned her from my care.
That's it. Sometimes you have to fire these doctors. And what's sucky is I've had the same experience. I had the same experience. I have multiple children. Let's start there. And I did not know that, Courtney. I didn't realize, because I was young and dumb. Let's start there. But I didn't realize that there was going to be a parade of intruders. That's how I felt. Like it was a parade of intruders, and there was no freaking warning. The next thing you know is somebody coming in just to be in between your legs, and I'm like, yo, we not friends. I never seen you before. I don't trust you. You look nasty. One picked their nose and thought they were gonna come touch me. Let me tell you what you're not gonna do. I'm about to take him nasty tail over there with his stoic self, and this person was a mixed person, and who definitely had a disdain for my skin and my age, and he was out his mouth with it, bro. Now, and then he ended up being a primary and staying consistently, but when it was time for me to give birth, guess what him did?
Was he on vacation?
Vacation.
Oh yeah, I already knew. He was on vacation. That's what they do.
And you
They
know
will go
what?
on
I
vacation.
blessed God. You know why? Because I got another doctor. And he is a Caucasian man, white man. And when I tell you, I would say his name, David Smallwood. Am I saying that right? Dr. Smallwood. I think I'm saying it right.
Okay.
I might be saying it wrong. I think the other one may have been Smallwood the Troll, but I'm going to think it through and I'll come to that conclusion.
We'll come back to it.
But David was absolutely amazing. He was gentle. He was kind. He was consistent. When I gave birth to my daughter, I had issues. And I want you to know I had to go under because I started just losing a lot of blood. And I heard him count me out. And when I woke up, him and my mama was there. Do you understand? And
That's
when
wonderful.
I knocked back out and woke back up, he was right there by my bedside. And he was a doctor who GAF'd. You know what I mean? So that to me, it matters. And we do have a different experience than our white counterparts. I don't even like calling folks white. I call them pale skin or pink. You know what I mean? Because you are definitely not white. We're not crayons. My skin is not black, goofy ass.
Correct.
Right now. Hold on. We're going to breathe. So
I understand. That's like, this is black.
It's
this is chocolate.
And it literally is the narrative that the society here, in their efforts to divide and oppress, you're black and you're white because black is bad and white is good.
Yep.
Doodle head dummy. Stupid comes in all colors. So let's stop there and get back on point.
I love it. I love it.
I'm telling you, that experience blew my mind. So go ahead.
Before I even touch on that, let's rewind for a little bit and hold some space for you. Because we miss that. A lot of times women don't get a chance to be like, yo, that was really traumatic. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you. Let's hold space for that and be like, whoa, take a breath. That's a lot. Because you still feel it. People forget, for women, the last memory that you lose is your experience during birth. And it's been proven. The last thing you will forget is how you experienced your birth. If that was beautiful or if it was traumatic, you'll always remember it. And it sticks with you. And it's an imprinting that is done emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. And also has a trajectory of what the rest of your life looks like due to the trauma that has happened during your birth. So having that, saying that, you know, I had my second baby dealing with this type of trauma, and I was just like, okay, what am I going to do? It was time to, my blood pressure was crazy. My vision was blurry. I couldn't see anymore. I was like, hey, I need to be induced and I need to get this baby out. And I was with my Hispanic doctor. And I was like, when are you off of work? She's like, I'm off. I think I gave birth on a Wednesday. Okay. It was a Tuesday. I gave birth on a Wednesday. She said she would be gone Thursday. And the doctor that had caused me harm and I didn't like would be on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I said, oh, so we're going to run it. Coincidentally, it was the day before my grandmother's birthday. Okay. So I called her. I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to give birth on your birthday. How do you feel about that? She's like, you sure? I was like, yeah. So I said, I feel like that's the safest day for me to do this, that I know I am prayed up, powered up, that me and this baby will be okay. But I can't see. There's something wrong. And I'm afraid if I stay pregnant any longer, you may not have both of us. And she was like, okay, go ahead. So was induced. It was crazy. I love it. So I was induced and ended up having a seizure giving birth to her. My doctor didn't make it in time. Okay. So it was the nurse who was arguing with my mother about what's happening, telling me to stop pushing. It's like, Jewel, just don't push. And my mother was there and my ex-husband was there, who was a nurse. And he's actually who delivered my baby. Oh, it was him and my mom. And the nurse was sitting there freaking out. And that was it. There was like, no, we're not waiting. And it was crazy. She was born at 6:30 in the morning. And I was just like, it was so much. And I heard the doctor come after the fact because I passed out. I literally looked down, saw her. I was like, okay, cool. She's out. Wake up hours later. I'm in pain. I have not had any medication. And now my family's here. My grandmother, my great aunt. And
what do you mean you haven't had any medication?
I had no pain medication. No.
Where did you deliver? Let's rewind. Where did you deliver at?
So I delivered in St. Petersburg at Baby Place. That is actually
at that place. Okay,
yes,
so you were at the facility. That's what
I was at the hospital. At this place. So keep in mind, this hospital in particular, because I am about keeping it 100, has the highest C-section rate in Pinellas County.
Tell it. Stay away from that place. They're only safe. Go ahead.
Yes, they are not safe. They are the only place that if you have a high risk pregnancy in St. Petersburg, Florida, that you can deliver. So, and it's in the Black community. So,
of course,
this is what they're known for. So I did not have a C-section. I had a vaginal birth, but I'm like walking around. My grandma's looking at me. She's like, we've been here for like 3 hours. No one has come and rubbed your fundus, because she's watching me do it. And so she's coming over, rubbing my fundus. And she's like, call for pain medication. I did. No one came. So she took it upon herself and my family and advocated for me. I said, like, hey, you've not checked my granddaughter's fundus. You have not checked her bleeding. You have not checked her blood pressure. You have not given her any medication. And we've been here 3 hours. She's supposed to be around here Q4 hours to be seen. Everything else, her fundus should be rubbed every 15 minutes, and you ain't been here.
Yep.
She's rubbing her own. So I was very blessed that I had a family of one being an attorney and 3 nurses by my side saying, you're not going to do this to mine. And it was my great aunt who was a nurse, my grandmother was a nurse, and my other aunt who's a nurse practitioner is more than that. And then my other cousin who's a nurse, and my mother who's an attorney, who was like, not our baby. And that whole
and that's crazy that it takes that. You see what I mean?
It took a whole tribe of people to really get them together. Like, hey, we're not going to do this. My blood pressures were off the charts, everything. I was like, I signed myself out with my baby. I was like, look, you're not taking care of me. You're not doing well by me. No. I cannot do like this. I said, I had to pull my nurse card. It's like, I am a whole pediatric nurse. What you're doing right now is crazy. I'd rather manage my own care at home with my baby, bleeding and all, than doing this.
And that's how people die. That carelessness, that, and it is pissy. And certain places in our lovely Florida are known for their trash panda behavior. And I can't even call them trash pandas, because trash pandas behave better.
Yes.
Okay. So it's ridiculous for anyone who goes and takes that education, takes those certifications, takes those oaths to give care, and then turn around and look and see someone's skin color and decide that they are not worthy of their care. You are an asinine human. You lack values, you lack morals, and you lack a conscience. So it's disgusting. That's the polite words I can offer. And I'm sorry you had to go through that trash.
Well, thank you. So here's a very interesting thing that you brought up about the medical field. So in the medical field, till this day, in the medical jargon and books, when it comes to Black women, it is written and stated that Black women are loud, that we are dramatic, and that it is okay to not take the pain seriously. Because when I was in nursing school, I actually got into a lot of trouble with my professor who's teaching us this stuff, but that you have to be more softer and gentler with white women because they are meek and they don't speak up for themselves. So you need to know how to advocate for them. And I said, that's bullshit. That's just straight bullshit.
Some dumbass person who has a degree to teach, you fucktard. I'm trying to keep my mouth kind of peaceful, but like literally, like, are you that damn slow? Did your brain turn off? And that's what gets me. Like, even where's the critical thinking? Where is the where's your conscience, and where is the God you say you love so much? Where is that Holy Spirit in your ear to say you have missed the boat on this one? You know what I mean? It blows my mind.
So it's crazy, but this thought of the norm was started in slavery, that during the antebellum period of education. So the birth of gynecology as we know it was done on enslaved Black bodies. So all of the information and
the
knowledge
experimentation that it took to develop it was done on Black bodies. It's time for you to drink some. I ain't seen you drink none yet.
Listen, I can take a side sip. And we sip on that.
Go ahead.
But the whole thought process of everything that you know in the South, based in America, is based off the trauma that was done on our ancestors' bodies. And even if you read the jargon as put in, they're like, oh yes, we've done open C-sections, no medication on this woman. She got up. And then what people don't understand is that these same women who had these C-sections with no medication were still to serve these doctors and to do this. But what they'll say is like, oh, they don't feel pain, they do fine. But if you read it, you'll see in the jargon how they had to strap them to the tables to do the thing. So if you have to strap someone down to a table,
clearly, dumbass,
you're doing harm. So that same thought process, that same rhetoric,
no God,
taught till this day. So when you're dealing with that, and I explain this to Black women, when you're going into the healthcare field, you need to understand the history of how the healthcare field looks at you and how they're going to respond to you. Because in school, you are taught this. Now, you would think critical thinking, but also look at what is being put out. If this is what is taught to me in school, it must be true.
Because it's in black and white. It's in the book.
It's in the book. And then if your preceptors are teaching you this and saying you can do this, and then a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of more urban hospitals tend to be teaching hospitals. No one tends to notice that. So you're allowing students to play doctor on your bodies.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, any mistakes or things are done, it's okay. And they will say here, and they will purposely let you do this on minority patients, Black women, brown women,
statistically proven,
and non-English speaking women.
Yes, statistically. Oh my girl, I have stories. Holy Spirit, I'm gonna breathe. Yes, you are so correct.
And this is statistics. So people like to argue, it's like, oh, that's your opinion. No. This is fact. This is statistics. These are books written on this. Multiple things. This is what it is. So due to all of this trauma and everything that happened, I had severe postpartum depression. Because I was left alone to just figure all this out and to process all of this. And I was like, this is what people do? This is what y'all do down here? I was like, where do your people come and stay with you and take care of you and do this? The community wasn't built like that. So after doing nursing, and my daughter was a little older, I was, working and, doing assisted living work, didn't like it. Google's great. I was like, hey, Google, what's like a midwife but not a midwife? And it said, brought up doula, and it said mother of mothers. I'm like, oh, that's me. I can do that. That's me, hands down. And so I was like, okay, so how do I get into that? I looked up a course, and the first course I found was for DONA. DONA is one of the oldest schools of thought for doula work. However, it is very whitewashed. So I took the class. I went to the Gainesville School of Midwifery and took the course for doula certification, but I was very caught off guard because everyone around me was either pink or very, very fair brown skin that leaned on the side of we've assimilated so much to the white ways. Anything that's away from that would make us not matter. So I'm in class with all of these people, and they're talking about, what type of doulas are going to be. I said, I want to work with my population. And the teacher at the time, which I don't even speak her name, and she's like, oh, so you're one of those chocolate milk mamas. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, what did you say to me? She's like, yeah, you're one of those chocolate milk mamas. And I was
that's why I pray. You understand? That's why I pray. Go ahead. Oh Lord, she said that to you out loud. Oh my God.
She said it to me out loud. And
audacity.
Felt in her spirit that I was about to snatch her soul out of her throat. So she pulled her phone out and said, see, this is one of the Black groups called the Chocolate Milk Mamas. You're one of those. I was like, no, my name is Courtney Nicole Yvonne West. That's who I am. And what I'm going to do is bring something to my community because of the harm that's being brought there. I said, I'm not sure if you understand in your little brain how insulting what you just said to me was.
No clue. She's like, thinking it's cute.
She thought it was adorable. She's like, oh, I just mean, they're like an activist group and that. No.
You are clueless and nobody told you. Let me give you a clueless. And some people, I do have a space. I have a mercy and a grace for certain people who really just don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that grace has a expiry date. Okay. Because how many opportunities have they had to say, hey, Google? Because if you GAF'd, like for real, then you would have taken time to understand that I seen your babies hit fast. Hey, babies. But it's wild. Like the story that you're sharing with me is wild. I'm blown away by how much we honestly have to endure, and to the women who have had to suffer these injustices, because that's exactly what the hell it is. It's injustices. I'm so sorry that y'all had to go through that. And there is help available, and we're building better for future moms. And that's why I thought it was so important to have this conversation. We're going to stop and do all the breaky pay the bill things.
Yes.
As soon as we find those mystical magical things. Okay. So Whoa, I'm just so taken by the conversation. It's so good. Can't wait to get back to it. What we're going to do is we're going to share one of our artists. So I mentioned to you earlier, and I'll put that quick banner back up and give you guys the opportunity to go to BLAST and register as an artist or as a fan. And by doing that as an artist, this is what you get to benefit. Exposure to your greatness. Let's go.
Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you. I understand you got your own thing going, merely on down the stream, you better keep on rowing. They try to knock your self-esteem, you better keep on glowing. Don't let nobody in between that future you be knowing. So here's my message to you. Ain't no person on earth that can outdo you. Be yourself until yourself, you'll be honored that you knew you. Only you can be a rock when it ain't no one else around. And if you don't love yourself, then the only way is down. But I believe in you, I see you got some dreams in you. Full speed ahead, I see you got some steam in you. Just keep chugging away, be grateful for every day that you get to bless the world with such a beautiful face. Let your shadow make the chase, let your heart dictate the pace, let your mind give you the strength, and let your spirit run the race. I bet your ancestors cheering, seeing the path you clearing. Nothing worth fearing, every lesson worth hearing. But every now and again they try to break you. Lean into them wounds even though they might be painful. And when they heal the scars, that's when you gon' see a breakthrough. I'm praying that you make do with every resource within your grasp. Multiply it forth and be generous with your math. Kindness in your hand, willing to understand that every single second you get is another dance. And every single moment you breathe is another chance to do something you love, to always rise above. Parting for the past, don't let that trauma beat you up. Be gentle with your mental and everything you done been through. End of the day, you're the reason I grabbed a pencil, so I could draw you up a motivational stencil. Tracing the inspiration, make way for the destination. Trust me, I can see all of the places that you're headed. And I'm here to let you know you ain't gonna never reach a dead end. Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you.
Hey dear Darson Hans, that was Demi Day, and the song is called Be Like You, because everybody can't be like you. True vibe. And like I said, go on over to BLASTMUSIC247 and handle that. So let's have a quick conversation. There are a few things coming up that I'd like for you to know about, but first, it's important that you see this. I am Melikia K. Courtney, life coach, potty mouther, and one who loves people back to life. Take a screenshot. I'm giving you a few seconds to handle that. Grab a quick screenshot if you know you really do need someone to walk and journey life with you and help you and love you back to life. This is what you want to do. Contact me. Simple. What you'll do is text COACHME to 321-443-2495. Again, COACHME 321-443-2495, and you'll be contacted with information on how we can work together. I'll tell you more about that later. And then also, to be known, we have a wonderful lineup on BLAST, and I'd like for you to see this. Okay. So now you know what days we're there. Come tap in with all the shows and get this good work. You have music, you've got our gamers, you've got your growth podcast right here at SXP Metamorphosis 365. You've got a Courtney, who is our guest today, Courtney Nicole E. West. And that happens on Saturdays at 10 a.m. And I believe you saw it on the thing. So be a part of what we're doing. It's kind of amazing. And we're growing. All right. Back to the business. February 8th, we have a day of healing, Love Fest 2025. It's going to take place for 24 hours. So what does that mean? You have a 24-hour opportunity to tap in. If you want to stay out 24 hours, be my guest. I ain't doing that. I'm kicking off the conversation at midnight, and I'll be there till 2 a.m. And then I'll be back periodically throughout the day. And of course, from 6 p.m. through midnight, I will be on deck. The guard changes every 2 hours. We have fresh voices, keynote speakers, DJs. It's about to be a love fest. You understand? So come prepare your conversation of love and gratitude. And we're going to exercise that muscle. Yep. We're going to live and do and be. Yep. We can get mad, but we're going to get glad that day. All right. So come take part in that. If you don't have the Clubhouse app, go ahead and download it, and you'll find this event in Sanctuary Experience. So Sanctuary XP is the house, and next to Sanctuary XP, you're going to find Master Key Mindset written backwards, because yours truly got jokes. K, Sanctuary Experience. Come be a part of the fun. Also, it is for you to know something from my sisters is available to the beautiful women, our women of color, who need that moment of attention, love, to be seen, heard, known, and just felt. Come be a part of the community. Grab that book. It is for the free for you. Others, if you're interested in accessing that book, is $25. Okay, tap in with me for that. I do believe we've covered everything that I want to cover for now. We'll get back to a few things a little bit later. I'd like to get back to the conversation with our incredible guest, Miss Courtney West, back on deck.
Hi, I love that, and I'm like, the business was good business, and that music was just on point, and actually gave so much like lovey doula vibes. Like, really, that's really what it boils down to, what that is. Because I find it interesting you guys had that video, because I will jump from where we were. We were talking about, traumatic training.
Gotta get it happy.
Stuff. Yeah, get it happy. So after taking that training with Donna, I was like, all right, this ain't what it is. I went back to my community and said, all right, we're gonna start doing stuff. And I started doing peer-to-peer moms groups. And I did this because I need to get certified. So you had to do 3 births. And I was like, okay, how am I gonna find these Black women? And of course, I am a Scorpio and artist by nature. So I'm just like, all right, we're going to do this way. I put it out for a photo shoot to be done for Black women. And I said, I want to bring you in there. And what we'll do is, I did the makeup, I did the hair, I did the costumes, I got the photographer. And what I will give for you for your time is, had a couple of different new doulas, and we would give you services. And listening to these women gathered together, speaking about their triumphs and sorrows and concerns about being pregnant and what they were going through, because everyone except for one person was still birthing at this same hospital. So they didn't know the ins and outs. They were all getting really subpar treatment. So I was like, okay, this is a problem. So what I started doing is having mom-to-mom peer-to-peer groups in my house. Good. I was like, all right, every Wednesday, come to my house. I would cook, and we would go over lessons and teach people how to advocate for themselves. What is a birth plan? Why do you need a birth plan? How to talk to your providers and be able to express to them what was going on. And then the part of that is like, they got to pick whatever doula they want. So I had like 6 women. I got all 6. I'm like, whoa, okay, all right, cool. And I had got to experience their births and be able to be like, okay, let's break this down. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, this is what we were going to say. And I continue, the groups grew. So there be on Wednesdays, anything from 15 to 20 Black women in my house, babies included, just talking and holding space. And that's how I really got started. From there, I found a center, and I was looking for just like, there's something better than this. And I was working with a lovely midwife who I adore. She's no longer working in practice, but she was my elementary school teacher.
Oh,
I
no
met.
way.
Yes, she was my 4th grade teacher in elementary school. I saw her at a birth, and she's like, and I was apprenticing under another doula. She told the girl to fire the other doula just to hire me.
Woo.
And we did that. It was a Black client, and the doula was white, and the midwife was like, nah, you need a Courtney. You don't need a her. And I was like, look, hey, just let's not fire anybody. I'm here. Let's do it. So we did the birth, and she's like, you know what? Have you ever heard of Jenny Joseph? And I was like, kind of. Who is this? Jenny Joseph is an amazing midwife who is been in the practice for over 38 years. She moved here from England. She's a Black woman and started her own midwifery practice here. And he has the only midwifery school taught and run by a Black woman.
Oh, wow.
And so I was very blessed to get introduced to her. And she bought her doula course to St. Pete. And I was able to train up 15 doulas.
What?
And 15 doulas to get some real training that was cultural competent training in what we call maternal toxic zones. So a maternal toxic zone can be in an urban or rural area where we do not have not just access to healthcare, but successful, equitable access to care. And how can we come into those spaces to make change? So that is the education and the doula training that I was looking for and wanted to offer to my community. So I start doing that, and then had a center in Sanderland Center, which is our big community center. That was a drop-in clinic that you could come in, and how it would work is like you could go for doula questions, lactation, or just a safe space to come in with your babies. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Cry. I'm gonna offer you a cup of tea, hold your baby, let you cry. Say, okay, so what do we need to do now? And so it was a resource to understand what safe resources were in our community. Where could you go? And that someone's going to hold your hand, and not just because you're like, I feel like I'm losing my mind, that you're not necessarily going to have DCF called on you. It's like, let's find you.
Oh my God. Can you say it again? Like people
just because you're feeling overwhelmed, because especially for Black women, a lot of times we have high functioning depression.
Yes.
And that comes a lot for Black women, is that your depression is not going to look the same necessarily. Your name may not be laying in bed all day, not tending to your children. Actually, it's quite the opposite. You're going to tend to the children and make sure they get everything you need, but you're not tending to yourself. Yeah. You may not eat anything for over 2 weeks and just sip off the same drink for this whole time. You may not have bathed in 3 weeks, but your children are immaculate. That is what you tend to see with Black women.
Yes, or it is.
You will see us and they're like, oh, you're so angry. No, you're overstimulated. And here's
the fun part. Talk about that. So there was a couple of things that you said. One, for the person who would watch this and feel a way about a Black woman, which irritates my soul, an African woman, a woman of descent, right, of diaspora, as we are. There's got to be a way to say it, and I'll work on that thought and I'll come back with that. But for those who would complain or point or whine and BMW about us caring for us focusing on us creating zones where we can feel safe, and in contrast to, well, why aren't we welcome? Would you speak to that that foolishness? And that, and let me, it is foolishness. Let me approach it from this way too, because some people, it literally is just it's a feeling of rejection. So can you speak to our counterparts who, because everybody watches my show. Let me be really clear. And I have a heart and a love, and I take care of and have clients in every skin color, right? And the same time, because of that, Courtney, I'm able to see the gaps, the chasms of need. Our white counterpart sisters, our pink sisters don't need this level of care because they've had it all their freaking lives.
So
And
I love
because of
you
that-
said that.
Go ahead.
Because that's my answer. That's exactly the answer I always give, is that when I get this from, it's like, well, what about me? My answer is simple. You've always had the privilege of having these spaces. There's nothing saying that you can't go into these other spaces. And the only reason you want to come in this space is because someone told you you can't. Here's the deal. The level of care that is given, as I said, my mission as 3 Gems Birth Services, everyone deserves care, but especially the people who fall through the cracks. So what I do and specialize in is I take care of the ones that no one is taking care of. So if you are one of those people that no one is taking care of, and that based off what you look like is based on what type of care you are getting, you are welcome. I had one white woman who was very staunch on I should be allowed to be here because she had mixed kids. I was like, okay.
And how did you facilitate that need or perceived need?
Absolutely. I said, so I spoke to her. She's like, well, I'm going through all this and this and this and that and the other. And I have mixed kids. I said, this is what I have for you. I said, I understand that you made a choice to have these beautiful children that have to walk a line on both sides of the spectrum for the rest of their life. Yeah. But let me ask you a question. When you don't have your children with you, how do people that look at you treat you versus when they see you with your children? Well, they treat me differently when I have my children. I said, okay, cool. So this is what I say to you. You have the privilege to walk in these different spaces that me, this color, this thick, rich melanin that I have in my skin, I can't ever take it off. You can't ever take it off. So this injustice that you're feeling in this moment, which is valid, I'm not saying that it's not valid. Right. We live with every single day. Every single day. I said, but what I can do for you is I can talk to this group, express their feelings and your feelings, and see how they feel about you opening into the space. She came to the space one time.
Oh.
She did. Because I let the mothers say, they're like, what? And I said, this is where she feels. This is what it is. How do you feel about it? They let her come. Good. It was a one-time thing, one and done. And she found her tribe somewhere else. Everyone's tribe is not your tribe. And I worked with her one-on-one, but she never questioned me again about that group. No one was mean to her.
Like you bugging.
Nasty.
You bugging.
But after listening to the stories and the things that these people went through, and
she knew that wasn't her story.
She knew that wasn't her story. Even she did have a traumatic birth, but what she could resonate with was the treatment of everyone's spouses, Black spouses. And it took her Black spouse to tell her, you will not impede on these women ever again. What happened to me has happened to me all of my life. And for you to throw the fit that you did, because I knew him personally, and I was like, hey man, your wife came to my stuff, and I'm just holding space for her, but I want to let you know this is what it was, because he wasn't aware. He's like, I just thought it was a meet and greet group. I said, we do that too, because how the center works is that we did have play groups, so you could come to a lot of things, but certain meetings were just specifically for this, and she wanted to come. He got her all the way together in a way, and I was just like, hey man, listen, I'm good with whatever, but also understand it's coming off kind of culture vulture-y. So whatever you want to do with that.
Culture vulture-y. You know what? That is such a thing. It's that we're gonna have a second conversation about the culture vulture, because there's such a thing. There's just so much, but we're gonna stay on.
We're gonna stay online right now. So, but the thing is, a lot of times where people want the Black experience and they want the Black culture and they want the love and they want the lips and they want the nose and they want the things, so they pay for the things, but they don't want the trauma and they don't want the oppression that comes with it. So when they want the privilege to be able to take it on and take it off.
The access, like we toys and commodities. I had this conversation and I think that's I think it needs to be said again and again and again. I am not a toy. I am not a sexual object. I am not your friend. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know me and we have not built a relationship, I am not your friend. I'm not your enemy, but I ain't your friend. You will not be coming to touch my hair. You will not be coming to be in my business or questioning me like you own me. That's your delusion. That's your confusion that it has nothing to do with me. So and you mentioned the comment about being angry, which is why we're on this tangent right now. The nerve for someone to look at a Black woman who is pregnant.
We got a little bit of a piece right there that it blipped, but I know you're going to be back with it. But you know, it happens all the time that Black women are seen as angry. I hear this you. There you go.
Out. You can hear me because I'm like, okay, for whatever reason, I seem to have caught some attention, and I kid you not, you will not believe the things that are going on with my electronics, and I'm gonna say it like that.
Yes.
You will not believe, Courtney. And I'm going to still talk my shit, and I'm going to still say what I say, and I'm going to still be who I am. I'm Black and I'm in the skin, and I'm an advocate. I'm Black all day, everything, all of it. Okay, so listen all you want to. Whatever. But the truth is going to be like, and I advocate for everyone, but you must understand real clear. I'm damn sure going to advocate for mine. I'm damn sure going to advocate for these Black women, because we need us to do what we've done for the LGBTQIA community, what we've done for the Spanish community, what we've done for the Asian community, what we've done for Black men, what we've done for white men and white women who, and I am not saying all because I'm not blind. I thank God that I've got beautiful, wonderful people around me in all skin colors. But there are many, many, many who don't even appreciate the value and the worth and the amazingness that one single Black birth brings to a world, not just a nation. Ungrateful, disrespectful of your mother. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I'm gonna speak on that. So be mad if you want to.
And that's okay. And here's the deal: what I always explain to people, because I get this in my face. Well, what about this and this and that? I say, here's the deal: did I ever say that I'm anti-white and that I don't take care of white people? That's your impression of it. What I said is everyone deserves care, but especially the people who don't get it. And so I'm here to give it to everyone, but I'm especially here to give it to people who don't get it. So if you aren't getting it, why are you not getting it? And why are you so mad that I'm open to love people that you don't love or care about anyway?
That's what I'm saying. And that's what of no concern to you until I start paying attention. Go away.
That's what and my answer is always the same. I said, look, man, I take care of everyone from doctors, lawyers, and prostitutes and pimps. You don't do what I do, so don't worry about it. So don't worry about who I'm taking care of. Don't worry about how I show up. If I show up and there's a breastfeeding mama who ain't got no milk, I'm going to go find somebody who can give her the milk. And then back in the day when I was still breastfeeding, I wet nursed a couple of babies in between. And just, but those are things that I did for the culture. Right. I did for us. I did for that because that's where the need was. There were some people who didn't know about milk banking. They didn't know about these things. So I was here to bridge the gap for the people that, going back to even watching that video, this is our culture. This is what we've done. So it just had a different name. The midwife was your grandma or your auntie. The doula was your sister or your neighbor and your cousin. And when a baby was born, the whole community rejoiced with you because the baby was born at home and the windows were open. So when the baby started to cry, you could hear people clapping and rejoicing outside your door to say, now we have a new one. This is our culture. This ain't new to us if we're true to this. And so when you say this to people, and when I get the reaction from people from different cultures, I say, well, what did you do in your culture? This is our culture. This is what we do. So you may not understand it because I'm not supposed to. I don't understand everybody else's different culture, but I am culturally competent enough to learn it.
That's it.
And to respect it. And
curious enough to care. You know what I'm saying? Like I've taken time to understand, because I need to understand. I don't know about anybody else. I had a need to understand, why does your brain work like that or not work like that? Why do you behave this way or not behave that way? And here goes a little secret. Before I went to law enforcement, I had sat for my prereqs for nursing. Oh, so and mind you, I loved it. Do you understand how much I loved it? I loved it and advanced in it so well that I was immediately offered my seat. but I was changing states. I was moving and thought that when I had moved, because at this time I had moved down to Florida, I was thinking that I would be able to be pulled right into this program, yada, yada, I had communicated, yada, yada. However, when I get here, they want to pull a magic trick and say, well, you need to wait 2 years. And, oh yeah. I guess, maybe the in-person affected everything. Okay?
Oh
that's
yeah,
baby.
How it goes. That Courtney name be throwing people. They don't understand. So
yes, it does.
It's interesting. And I can feel my grandma on my shoulder saying, add this. My grandmother named me Courtney West on purpose.
Okay.
She's like, I named you this because someone will have to tell you to your face you can't have something due to the color of your skin. They can never tell it by your name. I want to make sure that anything they are going to offer you, you earned it. And when they don't give it to you, you know why you didn't get it. And I thought that was such a interesting point to give to me as a 5-year-old kid. I was like, Mommy, why you name me Courtney? So like everyone says I don't look like a Courtney. She's like, I did that to protect you and to also let you know that people got to be upfront with you at all times, because people are going to tell you you're not the greatest for the job, but over the phone you already got it.
And tell me why this experience, how many Caucasian folks will never understand it?
No, you have no clue.
Nobody had to sit there and strategically name you so that you could get a job. My mom was on her Black Vibes. I am very happy. My name is Melikia Kenyatta at that, right? So it's my name is purely drawn from Mother Country. And it's interesting. Like there's so much that we could really talk about this. Like I love the conversation that we've had. I love that we've been able to highlight how many women of color and African American, and that irritates me even in saying that, baby, because I was born in America. I am an American. How about that? Of African descent. Absolutely. Right? And the name changing constantly to try to confuse. And let's go back to the truth of the truth. I am an original people. This is my land. Okay, so it's interesting how usurping works. Because I think that's a proper word, right? And it's interesting also, there's just so much to say about having someone so interested in who you are that they would go to lengths to obstruct your progress, i.e. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter in the medical field. Black Lives Matter in daily living. Black Lives Matter in your ability to drive and have a GPS, or to go to the moon mathematically, or all these wonderful, wonderful things that Black lives have contributed to. So you want our greatness and our genius, just don't want us to have payment for it. But you want payment for yours. See, sickness that is a disease, and unfortunately, it's spilled into the medical community. And I had some experiences when I was doing my practicums off the chain. Okay, and to be in a position where you have a goofy ass person in your face talking down to you, or trying to mansplain to you, or to white-splain to you. We are amazing people that we're able to endure stupidity and still excel and rise. So I salute you for all of the excellent and wonderful that you do and have done. You are an amazing soul. Like I'm in love with your grandma. I got love for your family. I love the community vibe. And that was such an important statement you made, Courtney. You had a community around you. We have got to get back to community and what it truly is for us, because that's how we thrive. We thrive in community. We cannot buy into that isolation individual mindset that others have thrived in, because that is naturally who they are. It's not naturally who we are. We are naturally people of love. You know? Absolutely. Yes. And that's important that you hold that for people. And that's what I teach with being a doula at the end of the day. I tell people when I teach them and educate them, I said, it's not about the bag. It's not about the toys. It's not about the hip squeeze. It's not about any of that. It's about bringing your hands and bringing your heart and bringing your knowledge. That's all you need. That's really all you need, because when you love somebody, and what I have done with I've been blessed to be part of 126 births. And
Out of 126 births, all of them, the first 25, my grandmother blessed every single one of those kids. She prayed for them.
Are you
or had them come.
serious?
Oh yeah, when she was alive, we lost her in 2020 due to COVID, but she would have them come by the house. Hey, bring that baby by the house. Or she was at my center. She's like, she would literally have my mom drive her into the by the car and say, "Let me see the baby." And she would hold the baby and pray over the baby and tell them what the greatness that they have, or hold the mom and say, "You did such a great job. I'm so proud of you." And that meant the world to me and to them, that this woman said, or if she couldn't see him in person, she's like, "Tell them I prayed for them and they prayed for that baby. Tell me the baby's name, the day they were born." And she would write it down. And so I was given such a gift by having her. I give that gift over and over again of community, to know that someone loves you and they're praying for you. So how I move with my clients is like, I move like everyone is my brother, sister, or cousin. Because if I do that, I'm going to give you the best care, because I am that crazy about my family. It's like, yo, I'm with that. We about that. We in it. We in the mud. It don't matter. We got it. And so that's what I do with my clients. It's like, to be a doula, to really be a doula, you need to love them like they're yours. And if you love them like you're yours, you're not going to allow anyone to harm yours.
Say it again. And for the people a little bit.
Right. You're not going to if you love yours, you're not going to let anybody harm yours. And so how you advocate for them and how you teach them to advocate is you learn how to play the game and how to use the wording and saying, "Oh, so let me understand this. So we're going through this." And then you have her on a drip, but the drip is going faster than what she's going and her blood pressure is getting higher. So I have a question for you. Is there a possible way that we can slow it down a little bit and see if her blood pressure gets better? You knowing that you cranked it up, you didn't check it, her blood pressure is going crazy because she's in pain and she is miserable. But instead of just calling you for filth, I can say, "Hey, can we talk about this? I've noticed this." And it's always interesting because the medical field with me, they always kind of cock their heads like, "Oh, okay. I didn't think about that." I was like, "Oh, so she has to get a blood pressure."
You didn't think. The first 3 words, I didn't think.
I didn't think about that. It's like, "Hey, she's uncomfortable in this position. If we have to do a blood pressure every 15 minutes, can I move her body around, make sure we put it on so we don't miss your timing?" Oh my goodness, yes. So then everyone is on board. So when you come at the medical professionals in a way of saying, "I need you to not look at her, I need you to see her, the birthing person. I need you to see Clarissa, not read what Medicaid or whatever she has or look at her skin tone. I need you to see her. I need you to feel her, and how you're going to care for her is how you would care for your sister that you like." Because if you don't like your sister, I can't help you with that. But who you like and who you love. And then for when you do that, and then when you have that conversation with the medical professionals, it makes a difference on how your birth goes, and also empowering the people to speak for themselves and say, "Hey, I don't feel safe right now, and I'm really scared."
Talk about that. Give a little bit more about that.
So
like,
a lot of
how do you speak up and not be dismissed? How do you not cuss the people out and throw things at them?
So this is the hardest part, because this is what I explain to people, because when you're in pain, that's passion. When you're hurting, you're afraid. So your reaction is, I've said it nicely. And most of the time what happens with Black women, period, in the medical system, we shrink because we're afraid, because you know that this is a place that is done harmed and no one is listening. Yeah. The best way to sometimes have that is to have someone to advocate for you, and how you advocate for yourself is saying, "Listen, I don't feel heard right now. I want my doctor, the nurse, and then I want the director of nursing that is in here for today to all be in this room with me, and I want us to have a conversation. You have to know your body and your care and have the evidence base to back it up." So that's the thing. When you want someone who doesn't look like you and doesn't believe your symptoms to be real, you have to show evidence, because you can't fight against evidence. Perfect example, let's use blood pressures and pain. Hey, I understand that my pain is going up like this, but my blood pressures are this high. I've been told multiple times my blood pressures are high due to me being Black. Well, here's my baseline blood pressures. This is not regular for me. I am in crisis. Here's the evidence. I've been taking my blood pressures all these weeks, and I notice they spike up every time I'm in this office. So here's the evidence of. So therefore now they can say, "Oh, we're sorry. Let's try this a different kind of way." Or people have white coat syndromes, and they see the white coat and they instantly tighten up. It's like, I tell people, before anything, you breathe, take a breath. And then if also to help you advocate for yourself, if you don't have someone there in person who can hold your hand, have them on the phone.
Yeah.
Let them know, and you don't have to tell them who they are. You can say, I just have my advocate on the phone. Because when people know they're being checked, they act differently.
Yes, they do.
And so
and when they ask you to leave the room, talk about that too, because I've had it where they try to shoo everybody out of the room to give particular care, and where sometimes this person does not want to be alone with those caregivers. What rights do they have to resist in that?
So everyone has a right to care, because most people don't know that they have a Bill of Rights. The hospital has literally a Bill of Rights for patient care. It is your right to have an advocate or person in the room to keep you safe. They'll say, oh, no family is allowed in here. What I tell people is like, well, this is not just my family member, this is my advocate. And I do not feel safe being alone with you.
That's it.
And you can say that, and you have a right, because you're not refusing care. You have a right to have care and to have competent care with an advocate. And so that's the workaround of that. And I'm very diligent with that. And even when I'm talking to people, I talk to people about their spouses. Black men, especially, will be removed from the hospital for speaking up for their counterparts. Because if the nurse says that you are making them feel uncomfortable or aggressive, they'll put you out. So what I tell people is you stay very calm. And I teach this. You're going to stay very calm. And we're going to lay the facts out by a timeline. If a nurse is not listening and the nurse hasn't done anything and you've told them 3 times, it's just like that 1, 2, 3, you're out. You give the times, what has happened, how this happened. Do not raise your voice, even if you want to.
Right.
Imagine you're talking to a small 3-year-old toddler that doesn't understand anything. Because if you talk to someone that way, you keep your tone as in, listen, this is what's happening. This is what is going on. I don't feel safe. She doesn't feel safe. We can have someone else. The most important thing that people need to do about advocating for themselves or advocating for someone else, you can hire and fire anyone.
That's it.
Medical system is a business. It's a business. So if you're having a nurse who does not match to you, align with you, it's okay to say, hey, do you have a nurse that's more comfortable with more homeopathic birthing experience? Or someone who's comfortable with working with people of color? Well, I'm comfortable working with anyone.
I literally said that.
Yeah, I was like, they're coming off very hostile. I feel very fearful for my life and the safety of my child. Can I have someone else?
Yeah.
And this is a hire and fire. It's okay. They will find someone else. And if there isn't someone else, I feel more comfortable with the DON for the day to come and do my care. You can do that. I've done that. When I was dealt with the stuff in the hospital, I said, I ain't dealing with these punk ass nurses no more. DON for the entire time I'm here. And I told them that, I said, whoever is on call and who is the DON of the day is who will be doing my care from here on out. You are not allowed in my room. You are not allowed to do this. You cannot be a student. If you have not been a nurse over 10 plus years, you are not allowed in this room. How about that? And that's what they did, because you have those rights. So know your right. Look up in your state, your healthcare bill of rights, and look them up and know them while you're going in the hospital. You have to arm yourself differently as being a Black person or a person of color or an immigrant person giving birth in the hospital. Know your rights, and that you can recite them.
Random Moments in America, David Friedman. Dr. David Friedman. I told you, I know it will come to me. Smallwood was the rude guy. Just sick. But David Friedman, great.
That was in his name, Smallwood.
Damn, I ain't catch it.
I'm sorry, that was rude, but that's how I feel. I was like, oh, your name is Dr. Smallwood. That's what's wrong with you. I can't help that you were born that way.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And that's what it was.
And let me be clear, he was an older man, possibly cantankerous, and just very opinionated and judgmental. Bedside manner of a frog is how I would describe it. But I don't think he was completely careless. I think he had some care. So let me be fair in saying that.
And,
you know what I mean?
That comes with the
territory
too.
Better.
And you know what? It comes with the care, because you're taught and you're so in your head that this group of people are this, especially if you are younger, you are single, and you are Black, you're a waste. So I'm going to run through you like you're a waste. Or if you have certain type of health insurance, I'm only making this amount of money out of you.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
And it's amazing to me, how in 3 days worth of hell can a doctor come see you for 5 whole minutes and charge that freaking much money and not listen to you and not offer you proper care, not manage? I'm like, dude, you playing tag. You looking at this paper for 3 minutes. Oh, flip, flip, flip. And you've already decided. We ain't even talk, bruh. So it's not healthcare. This is make sure people say sick care a lot of times, or do the very, very bare minimum. And I love what you shared, teaching people how to advocate for themselves. And I think something to pull really, really out to the front. Know what's going on. Absolutely. You don't get to be an absent party. You are there to participate. You've participated in the sex. You've participated in the conception and the time that it takes to bake that baby in the bun, and now participate in your birthing. Be aware. Get you a friend, a mother, sister, brother, community. Label them advocate. Make it really clear. If you are not feeling safe, open up your throat. That's my song, a last song. And
I love it.
Open up your mouth and speak the things that need to be spoken. If you're afraid, can they write it down? Can they write this note and be like, hey, read this? Right?
Absolutely.
So there are means.
I do it
and
all the time.
Yeah.
Question, because I know we're shooting.
Sure.
Pause. I have to pee so bad.
Okay. So here's okay, pause. Found it.
Yes.
All right. Back at it again. So what I'm gonna do right now is show you guys magic. There we go. Get your phone out, get that screenshot. Go ahead and tell them what the site is. I'm going to run it one more time, Courtney.
I love it. So what she's sharing right now is 2 different ways that you can reach out. So if you are not in the Pinellas County area or not in Florida, you can reach out to Black Birth Workers Rock. It is a database for Black birth workers. That's from lactation, doulas, and midwives for all over the United States. You can put in your state and see who's near you. Also in there is 3 Gems Birth Services. That is my website. So if you want to contact with me and you're local, I'd be happy to assist you. Even if you're not, I do telehealth appointments. So I can do virtual doula services with you. So either way, you can reach out to me and hire me on as a doula, or be able to do some virtual consulting with you as well. And also have an option to find someone who's in your area to be able to be there. Because this virtual is great. But to have someone there to be able to hold your hand, go over the education with you, and be able to help advocate for you in real-time space, it's amazing. When you can have it, definitely have it. But know that there is a community out here. Know you don't have to be on your own. And no, birthing shouldn't be a lonely business anyway. It really shouldn't. Like, you know, people get really weirded out, like, oh, well, why does my mom and my grandma and none of them all want to come? It's like, well, because culturally, that's what we did. And also it's to keep you safe. That's why they want to come. They want to make sure that you're safe
and being well
in the birthing space, and you're well taken care of, period. So I always give that to people. It's like, hey, we're out there. It's not just me. There's a lot of us, and we are out there. And the best way to pick the best birth worker for you, interview a few. See who resonates in your spirit and your soul, and you want to make sure you pick someone who's going to be just as invested in you as you are invested in you.
That's it. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate the woman that you are, the force that you are, and the fun. So I
love it.
I met a sister, you know, like for real. I met a sister. So it's I'm blessed. I'm blessed by your being.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for allowing me in your space. This was absolutely amazing. And to just have these great conversations about what it really is, and to just be amazing. And you are fantastic. And I just am so blessed to be able to hold space with you and to do this. And, you know, whenever you need me, I'm always here.
Because I have a list of repeat offenders over here.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, we come in here, we cut up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have I can't think of when it's scheduled. I have to look and see. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll have a group of us get together and we'll talk about a topic. And just, you know, like really just chat it up.
Okay.
And now that I know how many folks I can have in here, I'm fit to bring a lot of people in here. We're going to cut up and have fun. And what we do that night too. Do you share poetry at all? Do you poet or you sing?
Oh, that's a great question. So that was me at a point in time in life. I actually would have a background in spoken word and speaking engagements, and I actually do that as well. Is that I am brought in to talk about Black maternal health. I'm brought in to do this work. So I do public speaking as one of the things that I do. So I do it. It's been poetry-wise, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I picked up the pen and spoken the words in that way. It's just more of it flows and runs when it comes to birth work. But you know, it's still there.
Hey, wait, so we're gonna have you dust one off and come play with us and just really have a wonderful conversation. Like it's I think these are awareness conversations for someone who would watch this and wonder like, what's the point of the conversation? We have just brought so much awareness to our experiences in the medical arena.
Okay.
Like, and it is not just yours and mine. It is a collective hour when I'm speaking about women of color. And like you mentioned too, which is so true, non-English speaking women who are giving birth, and the vulnerability of it all. And I believe that's the proper word. You are in such a vulnerable spot when you are trusting someone to help you with your birth. Please do put people around you that you trust. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to Courtney, and then I'm going to give the last announcements, and we're going to skate up out of here. Thank you so much again. I appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, y'all. So we're about to get ready and wrap it up. It has been an amazing conversation. Do hit the replay. If you feel some kind of way, be my guest to feel the way you feel. You want to comment, be my guest to comment. But mind you, keep it respectful. Keep it at 100. Keep it 10 toes down, but keep it respectful. And do understand that I will be responding respectfully as well. I am Melikia K. Courtney, the founder of Sanctuary Experience, life coach, spiritual coach. I work in transmutation of certain situations. If you'd like to get something off of you and you need a little help, come on, tap in with your sister. Like seriously, this life was not meant to be done alone. I am really focusing in on women of color in 2025. Yes, I am willing to work with all women, regardless of your skin color, not an issue. But there are some specific things that I am doing for women of color, especially in this time right now, for those who are experiencing the political climate overwhelm. I'd like to tend to your heart. I'd like to tend to your heart and build sisterhood around you. Come get this love. Melikia, what do? Well, I love people back to life, and I love to do that for you. So do connect, do binge watch all the episodes of Sanctuary, SXP, in other words, Metamorphosis 365 Growth Podcast. Go to 1 and work your way all the way up to this episode, which is 43. We are in the water. We're in the water for you. And our 3-day is coming up March 7th through 9th. If you are a woman, this is for the women only, and you like to fly into the Florida area, or you live in the Florida area and you'd like to experience 3 wonderful days of love, great food, fun, sisterhood, renewal, some healing, come on, tap in. Let's go. You can head over to thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary, thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary to see the information over there. That is my affiliate partner for Florida's page. And go ahead and put your deposit in. Get that RSV, buy the whole thing quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we fill up quick. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's sisterhood like you've never known it. And I don't call it a retreat because ain't nobody running back. Ain't no retreating. We are experiencing and growing and healing and knowing one another, being sisters. I love my sisterhood. Okay, for our gents, yes, we do have offerings for you with SXP, and then for our youth as well. I suggest you go over to LinkedIn, connect with me, send me a message. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm looking to be on Blue Sky soon. So that's going to be exciting. With that, I am Melikia K. Courtney. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Mwah. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. And I've got to find this one mystical magical button because I'm the adult in the chair now. And let's see. Maybe it's this one.